I have for you more Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever. I know it doesn't actually say forever up there, but trust me, it's true. So today we have a 1v1 cast, ZLO versus JaggedAppliance. Before I launch into that game, let's just do a quick announcement about what I have planned for the series and channel in general. So, I want to do more casting. Right now I plan on just throwing up the Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever cast as things happen, but after this period of time, I'll be putting things up for about 2 casts a week. If things go well, that is manageable, I'll go ahead and bump that up to 3 casts a week. I like to just kind of take life as it comes. So if you are interested in getting your replays cast by me, hey, thanks. Go ahead, put a link in the YouTube comments here. I'll put in the description an email for this channel. You can go ahead and send things there as well. It's kind of whatever works. I'm still figuring things out. Just don't link to anything sketchy, because I don't get paid enough to go to sketchy websites. And let's see, one last thing. I am, of course, still figuring things out for this channel, this series, for really life in general. So, of course, feedback, critique, comments, concerns, whatever, are always welcome. Just remember to be nice, because, you know, being nice is nice. And without further ado, let's jump into the game. Alright, let's get things going off. We are playing on Pelagial version 2, a map I do not recognize. It is one that does not come default with Forged Alliance, I do believe, so this is a new community edited map. Should be exciting. Looks like excellent for water. Let's introduce our players. Down here in the bottom left, we got ZLO playing as UEF. It looks like the players might like this map as well, so hey, it's a good map after all. And up in the top right, we've got JaggedAppliance playing as, I do believe that is Aeon. I'm going to go ahead and say that and feel bad if I'm wrong about that later. Looks like ZLO agrees. He's kind of likes it, but he's on the fence. And understandable. Sometimes I have difficulty having opinions myself. Anyway, even as a newcomer to the series here, I do recognize ZLO's name. I've seen him in quite a few casts I've been watching from Guile. So hey, we got a name that I do recognize. I do believe he is quite good. And I'm sure JaggedAppliance being up here with a very similar score is good as well. So hopefully we're going to be seeing a nice, exciting game from these two players. Now, taking a look quick, we just got ourselves basic stuff set up. It looks like both players are just setting up with some factories to start off with, and then building up. JaggedAppliance come in here to help with the power and all that jazz. Let's go ahead, just join these together and just take a look at the map here real quick. So I am not well versed in what's actually going to be going down because I'm not sure with the map, but of course, surrounded by water, definitely going to be seeing some naval engagements, but these islands do seem a little bit close to one another, so I imagine we're going to be seeing some land and air combat quite soon. In fact, I'm going to bet that these two players are going to end up setting shop here and end up having some fights going on down there, but for now we just have scouts that I didn't know scouts could be on the water. That's cute. They're gonna go see what's up, and he's sending things to both islands, seeing what's there. It looks like there are some neutral buildings here, probably good for reclaim. Not quite sure how much reclaim value they have. It's not showing up, but I'm sure it is decent. And let's split that again and take a look at both bases and see what the players are going for. While we're split, we don't need that mini-map, do we? Still getting a hang of what exactly makes for nice, convenient casting. So let's see here. JaggedAppliance is going for his air factory already. It looks like he's going to be getting that up a little bit before ZLO. We'll see if he's able to take advantage of that. But in the meantime, not much is changing, except that it looks like he's got his second air factory up. It looks like he's going to start building that right afterwards. Means that ZLO is going to be hoping to take an early air lead. We'll see if he's able to take advantage of that. And out pops the first interceptor to go in. Meanwhile, JaggedAppliance going for the early looky-loo around the map to go ahead and see what's up. We'll see if he takes advantage of that scouting. And if we take a look real quick at ZLO's income count as he takes over this building, come on, show me the money. We take a look here, that is, I must not be missing that pretty well. Here we go, about 25 maybe with that. That's pretty decent, but otherwise, everything's going pretty well between both players. Looks like he's starting to send out interceptors, so JaggedAppliance here taking a very nice early air lead. While there isn't too much to shoot down, indeed he's going to see that, but actually if we take a look here, we've got a transport which is going to get denied probably. We'll see if that gets shut down, or it looks like ZLO is just giving up on it entirely. He knows that's not going to stand a chance at surviving, and he's just going to park that on the ground. And he's got his very first interceptor to help defend as well, so perhaps he's going to be able to shoo this away. But, of course, we've got one more interceptor coming in, going to be able to help shut that down. And Well, so far, it looks like JaggedAppliance is going to try and successfully, for the moment, keep ZLO in his base, keep those transports away. And meanwhile, let's not ignore JaggedAppliance's base. It looks like he's got a transport coming out right away too. It looks like that transport is gunning for the very tip of the base here. It looks like he's going to be going for some early attack. Going to try setting up a beachhead on ZLO's island over here. Or rather, I don't know which one technically belongs to both players. I suppose it could go either way. With the neutral buildings right here, I imagine this one would more stereotypically be put in ZLO's hands. But JaggedAppliance is going to look to shut that down. But he might not be able to get a beachhead set up right here, because if we take a look here, ZLO's interceptor is going to be right here to take him on. If we take a look, though, at the build range here, it looks like JaggedAppliance is aware of the interceptors flying in there, and he might have changed his trajectory as a result. So it looks like, whoop, slow that back down, whoop, it looks like JaggedAppliance might just get in unspotted, and indeed he does. Meanwhile, the interceptor's going. Let's just go ahead, put that map back together again while we have just the slow action coming in. It looks like also JaggedAppliance's command unit is also making a beeline for this island as well, so JaggedAppliance is going to be very determined to get this beachhead set up and is going to be putting on the early pressure towards ZLO, who at the moment is not really ready for it. It looks like he's getting set up with a hydrocarbon first, followed by that land factory, but the first land factory is already up by JaggedAppliance. So let's stay hovered in here, and we'll just keep the mini-map enabled for those who enjoy seeing a wide view of the action. And we'll go ahead, keep an eye on this as it develops. It looks like we've got our very first bot coming out of the factory here. Meanwhile, he's got thistles set up right away to go ahead and shut down ZLO's aircraft, which indeed it is. But he's got an attack bomber coming in. Looks like he's going for those engineers, and pop goes 3. Ouch. That's a pickup, but it is going to suffer for it. Indeed, and it gets shut down. Meanwhile, in the midst of this action here, let's just pop that out, keep that in, because we've got a transport coming from ZLO over here. Gonna try and have some shenanigans perhaps on the island base as a result, but nope, he's just gonna go in that tiny little island base right in there and set up shop. But that might give him a nice beachhead to expand to that island, but JaggedAppliance is starting to take over this island as well, so he's gonna have some excellent map control starting off, as unfortunately ZLO's factory production stuff on this island gets shut down, and that means that he's going to be in a very poor state indeed. Looks like he does. So it looks like JaggedAppliance's early air has not continued. He's instead seems to be focusing on the land portion, as we see probably it looks like a slightly higher amount of air coming in from ZLO. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I lie. He's got a few more interceptors, one more from JaggedAppliance, but what he does not have are these bombers that TLO is sending in to cause some mayhem. We'll see if they're actually able to get anything done, though, because they might get cut off from these interceptors who are making a beeline for it. Never mind, they are making a beeline for these guys, and unfortunately, they don't have the numbers to survive, probably, but they are going to pick up a bomber, so good for them. While these land units here are continuing to take out that island, things are currently, I would say that the inertia here is coming from JaggedAppliance here is doing a pretty good job of setting the pace, and we've got a transport loaded with, looks like engineers are going for, they were going for the middle map but decided to change their mind. It looks like he's wiggling that all the way over here. We'll see where he decides to stop, but JaggedAppliance starting to take him out. If ZLO, I've been calling him TLO this entire time, haven't I? Whoopsies. Too much StarCraft. There's a guy named TLO. Maybe it's the same guy. Who knows? Either way, it looks like he runs away with his interceptors, which is a shame. He probably could have picked off all those guys, but can't blame him for turning around. He's probably got a lot of other worries going on at the moment. And just to make sure I don't miss stuff, let's turn that mini-map back on. I cannot make up my mind what I want to show, can I? Looks like we got a little bomber coming in here. We'll see if he gets shut down or not. It looks like he is going to try and go for bombing run. Probably these engineers here. We'll see what he can get done. Boom. Oh, and unfortunately, they decided to go away from each other, and he only got one for his troubles. And again, JaggedAppliance on point with the thistles, shutting those down. Excellent. Those guys have proven their worth. But we have the very first naval unit here, the Thunderhead frigate, coming in. Trying to pop off that air scout, but no luck. But that's okay. Air scouts aren't that dangerous. And it looks like ZLO here is going for the outer rimmed islands here to start off with, and indeed taking the mass points, but he isn't getting set up with any kind of beachhead, any factories, so I'm not sure how well it's going to go for him. If JaggedAppliance just popped out maybe 1 or 2 bombers, he'd be able to shut all that down. Meanwhile, it looks like JaggedAppliance is content with his taking over the island here and has so far decided to stay put as he just scouts around, make sure there's no shenanigans coming from ZLO, who is possibly just on the back foot here, unsure what to do. But also, hang on a second, I missed this. ZLO here looks like he was giving his commander some upgrades and it has decided to move right into the base, a very bold move. It looks like JaggedAppliance's commander is still at the bottom island, so completely out of place, and there are currently no defenses set up to stop him. So this commander is going to be able to just wreak havoc and maybe just be able to take out this entire base. Now, this game was not about this long, so it looks like, spoiler alert, this commander is going to survive this attack, which is just really exciting to see. And in fact, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I didn't know you could take over a factory that fast, but indeed, he's taken over the factories, shutting down any building going down by engineers, hurriedly trying to get some point defenses up, but not succeeding. And indeed, he might just be taking over JaggedAppliance's base completely, so JaggedAppliance here is going to have to set up shop here permanently, it seems, because he is getting shut down. But we've got the Stinger here trying to cause some mayhem, but if he just focused down the Thistle, he'd survive, but his attention is elsewhere, and down it will go. Eventually, the Thistle just poking it to death, and to death it goes. Ouch. But again, those Thistles really paying for themselves. This guy is a veteran 3 indeed. If we take a look at the action continuing here, JaggedAppliance is just running over the commander with interceptors. I bet he's really wishing he had some bombers right now, but he just does not. He's hurriedly trying to get out some mobile artillery there, but they are not going to last for long. A little bit of micro there and there. He's trying to take out the factories there, trying to deny him. If he was thinking about it, he might shut these down, but maybe he'll end up keeping it. So we'll see if he's able to repel the Armored Commander assault. At the moment, these interceptors being here do have the advantage of shutting down any transport, so that commander is here for good. He's going to have to make something happen or he will be done for. But it looks like he's pretty well got that area under control, so he should be seeing a good time. So the question is, what does JaggedAppliance do in response? Here we don't see much action going down, but we do see the gunships just slowly trying to poke stuff down, and at the moment it looks like JaggedAppliance might not have much of a response. If he sent his interceptors in to take out, he might do it, but so far he's just trying to keep him here, trying to keep this armored commander pinned down. And so far, I suppose doing a decent job, but that commander seems pretty happy on this island, you know? He started off here, but the grass is always greener on the other island, as they say, and it looks like he's decided to make this his summer home. And indeed, all he has to do is just push out the natives and he'll have it for himself. A story as old as time. And we have the frigates here, which I haven't really been talking about from ZLO. Getting that early navy out seems to have supported him quite a bit. JaggedAppliance getting a couple frigates out as well. Maybe going to try and make a beeline for ZLO's base, but ZLO is going to spot the naval yard over from JaggedAppliance, and that wouldn't get much done anyway, considering his home island is getting taken out. Haven't given much love up here. Is there anything going down? Not much. Little engineer fight going on. It looks like JaggedAppliance has won that. Cheeky little devil there. And indeed, his island remains under his control. But again, he doesn't have much response to those frigates here, so that might not go for long. He'll just be able to poke at and prod at him. And indeed, we've got the Aeon going in with their Aurora tanks hovering over the water, just doing a little assault. We'll see if they're able to take out that frigate, and we'll see what ZLO is able to do. But right now, unless he gets any anti-air defenses up, this gunship should be able to take all... Wait, that's not a gunship, that's a transport. Never mind, I lied. Haha. But we have bombers here, so he should be able to clear it off, but he might be suffering from damage. Looks like we had a gunship here trying to cause some problems up on the northern island, which should not go very well. And sadly, these frigates here are just really so excited to take on that match point, but their commanders are blind, and they can't see that there is a mountain in the way, so they'll just shoot ineffectually. But let me tell you, that mountain, if it did anything wrong, it will indeed be paying for it. And meanwhile, we have ZLO here setting up shop on the northeastern island. JaggedAppliance's old base, just taking things over. He liked this island. It's now his. When you have that kind of power, you can make it happen. But indeed, I thought this attack was going to get shut down more than it was, but no, they are just having free reign at the moment. And oh no, ZLO's interceptors all chilling out here, just offering a nice little inviting target. They must really like those factories there. They're saying, hey, take those out, not us. But indeed, eventually they'll change their mind, as you would too if you were getting shot by a tank. And he's going to shut down Jagged Appliance's interceptors coming in here, so we should have no problem clearing everything up. And the rest of the forces here just chilling out there, putting an intimidating presence on the other side, which admittedly doesn't really need it. We have a little naval attack going on here. 2 frigates against 2 frigates. With the health here, we're probably going to see ZLO's frigates come out ahead, but I'm not really sure which frigates are stronger. Health-wise, we're probably going to see the Thunderheads come out, so that'll go swiftly in ZLO's favor as he shuts down the naval production for Jagged Appliance. And indeed, while at first it looked like Jagged Appliance was going to have a little bit better map control as things started off, that cute little play by ZLO, and cute, I mean awesome, indeed helped him win the island, and it looks like that put Jagged Appliance in a really awkward, weird spot, who's just deciding to counter by sending more tanks his way, which admittedly probably is the right call, as there isn't much response from ZLO, who's currently trying to build the Navy, the Air Force, combat all this stuff, putting his energy in the northeastern island, and not putting too much into land defense, which I don't blame him. Why put land defense when there's water, right? Well, this is why. The Aeons have floating tanks. Haha, those jerks. Alright, but the bombers here, growing in number, are going to be able to take out those tanks. Slowly but surely. And by slowly, I mean pretty quickly than slowly. Meanwhile, another gunship gets taken out. Those poor things having such a tough lot in life. As the Navy here by Jagged Appliance get cleared up, and indeed, this naval production hurriedly being put up in the little coastal area here. But maybe not going to get up in time because ZLO is smelling blood. Maybe. Where are those guys going? Those guys are going up there. If they just went in here, they'd be able to shut it down, but so far they aren't interested. That's alright. Sometimes you gotta toy with your opponent a little, you know? Meanwhile, some point defense being set up here, just shutting down, poking at those air scouts. Doesn't really want to be seen. I don't blame them. Sometimes you need your privacy. And we have a huge host of interceptors here. I wasn't quite paying attention to the production there, but ZLO going hard on the air. And indeed might be able to shut that down from Jagged Appliance, shut down those interceptors to keep poking at his gunships. And indeed, if we take a look at how many gunships he has just, oh, that's an air transport. I keep getting confused, don't I? What about you? You're a gunship. Well, maybe he wants to go for that gunship play again, so he wants to shut down the air, or maybe he just wants the peace and quiet. Let me tell you, you have all those interceptors buzzing around you, it drives you mad. Anyway, we have him here setting up with our torpedo launcher. He really wants to get his Navy into the game, so he's going to need some defenses for it, because right now he's got nothing to show for it. And indeed, another frigate going to pop here in just a second. He's got a weak little frigate in there that eventually he decides to focus down, and he's going down, but he'll at least take one frigate with it. And here comes the interceptors ready to do what precisely? We're not sure. They want to go to the other island. They've had enough. And we have another little frigate assault here if they don't have any... Ooh, wow, look at that guy. They can drop a lot of bombs. I haven't seen the UEF fighter bomber in action yet. That's how new I am to the game. This is exciting, seeing all those bombers, but unfortunately, he's not going to see another volley come off because he is getting shut down. And meanwhile, let's just take a look at what ZLO has accomplished on this side. He's got a power generator, shield generator, hydrocarbon. He's just setting up for some basic defenses here as he slowly takes over this island again, and indeed it looks like he's moving his naval production over here, or at the very least adding to it, just setting up with now 5 naval factories as soon as that gets set up, so he is going to be spamming out the frigates, I bet. And Jagged Appliance, I bet, is not going to be too happy if he knew about that. And indeed we have a gigantic swarm cloud here. Just out of curiosity, how many does he have? He has 55 interceptors. That's a pretty impressive number versus, it looks like, only about 11 from Jagged Appliance. That is indeed bad. But also, one thing I wasn't paying attention to, we got ourselves a little light artillery assault. Just shutting this down a little bit. We have a... Is that a turret? That's a radar system. Jagged Appliance here agreeing with his... Agreeing with ZLO's earlier opinion on the map, I bet, saying about how awesome this map was. And Jagged Appliance is doing the same, but it looks like maybe he wasn't ready for what kind of match this map would give. As indeed, he's definitely in a bit of an awkward spot. I can feel for him. Like, if I faced this in a game, I would just be frozen, unsure of what to do. I wouldn't have even sent those Aurora tanks out. I would have just been flabbergasted. But indeed, the pressure continues on. The engineers just trying to gobble up those trees in peace and gobble up that tank indeed, or artillery, who gets one last shot off, but it'll be his last. And we have a few engineers here going too. Apparently he's going to go and try for an aggressive reclaim perhaps. We'll see what that turns out being. As we just see a nice little lull in the action, I would say. Things are, of course, still happening. We have a little interceptor cloud going to shut him down, but for the most part, things have quieted down. It looks like JaggedAppliance has popped out. Hang on a second. And when I wasn't paying attention, never mind. Alright, so JaggedAppliance, recognizing the state that he was in, recognizing the back foot that ZLO had pushed him on, decided to go ahead and suicide his commander. Sadly, I was about to talk about how these submarines were going to take over the game, take over the Navy, but no, that will not be the case. JaggedAppliance taps out and gives us what was a very entertaining game, I'd say. That little play by ZLO, just rushing his commander right out the gate there. That is an aggressive strategy that definitely paid off well for him and probably won him the game. If he hadn't pulled that off, JaggedAppliance definitely had the inertia going on this little island here, would have kept up that land assault and maybe pressed him on the back foot because he had everything. But ZLO decided, screw that noise, pierced right through, cut this map in half like butter, and won him the game. Alright, and that was our match on Pelagial ZLO versus JaggedAppliance. ZLO taking the win. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the game.